Good morning. This is a gentle reminder that it is not too late, definitely not too late, to sign up for the second annual virtual Sunnyhill service auction. Saturday, June 12th, cocktails start promptly at 6:30. Of course, you have to make your own cocktail, but that's okay. You get exactly what you want that way. Auction starts promptly at 7. So log on early, get yourself settled. And remember, you're at home. Come dressed as you are, however you would like to be. Some of you, we have a lot of new folks this year, friends who have dialed into the services. Some folks have even joined our congregation, and they haven't even been in the sanctuary yet. So something like the Sunnyhill service auction may still be a bit of a puzzlement. What is this thing, this service auction? At its most basic level, it is our largest fundraiser. But more importantly, it is a sharing of our talents and our treasures and our time. It is baskets of books and food and gift cards and parties and Pilates and plants for your garden. A lot of P words this year. It is a culmination of months of planning and gentle prodding by our dedicated service auction committee. So please join us Saturday, June 12th. Make sure you register today, tomorrow, before Saturday, June 12th. The catalog is online. Look through it. There are so many wonderful things available this year. It is just amazing that virtually so many folks responded and are donating wonderful gifts and parties and things that they have made and beautiful pieces of artwork for your home. And remember, Saturday, June 12th, only 195 shopping days left till Christmas. An ideal time to get that special something for that hard-to-buy-for person. So we hope to see you. Cocktails at 6:30, service auction at 7, and I thank you.
Good morning. Today's service is our annual high school youth bridging service featuring our high school seniors who are bridging from youth into young adulthood. This year's bridging seniors are Anushka Marcos, Trey Reichenfeld, and Stella Thornton. Rising junior youth group members Owen Chaffin and Alex Farb are serving as worship associates for this service. But before we get started with this week's bridging service, I want to say a few words about next week's service. Next Sunday, June 13th, will be our first summer service held live and in person outside on the Sunnyhill grounds, something that we're all excited about. You can join us next Sunday at 10 a.m. either online via Facebook or YouTube, as we've been doing for the past year, or you can join us in person. We'll set up chairs outside under canopies, but we ask that you bring lawn chairs if you can. If bad weather prevents us from meeting outside next Sunday, we will notify members and friends by email by 8 a.m. on Sunday and post a notice on our website asking all to remain at home while we live stream the service. We do ask everyone to wear a mask at our service next week. As mentioned in an article in this week's Washington Post, the country's declining COVID-19 case rates present an unrealistically optimistic perspective for half of the nation, the half that is still not vaccinated. Adjustments for vaccinations show the rate among susceptible unvaccinated people is 73% higher than the standard figures being publicized. With that adjustment, the national death rate is roughly the same as it was 2 months ago and is barely inching down. The adjusted hospitalization rate is as high as it was 3 months ago. Among those susceptible unvaccinated people are all of our children under age 12. Roughly 30% of our Sunnyhill households include children under 12, so although the vast majority of our adults and teens have been fully vaccinated, we will continue to wear masks for now in solidarity with our children, with the exception of special pre-approved events. Also, although many of you are totally ready for big bear hugs, others among us are not there yet. So before you reach out and touch someone, please check to see if they're okay with that. And if you see someone doing this gesture as you approach them, kindly respect their personal space. I do hope you'll join us next Sunday as we celebrate Pride and rededicate ourselves to seeking justice for all LGBTQ plus people. But now, here is our high school youth bridging service. Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome to this online worship service, a time set aside each week to think about what really matters in our lives. Our mission here at Sunnyhill is to build a more just and compassionate community within and beyond our walls. My name is Owen.
And I'm Alex.
And we'll be serving as your worship associate this morning. On behalf of the Sunnyhill Youth Group, we'd like to welcome you to this special service that we've planned.
If you are a newcomer or visitor to our congregation, please visit our website, sunnyhill.org, and click the button that says New to Sunnyhill. We would love to let you know how you can connect with the congregation, even during this time when our building is closed. Today, as we listen to our opening music, we encourage everyone who is watching or listening, not just newcomers, but everyone, to let us know you're here by saying good morning or hello in the comment thread.
We call forth the life of our faith by igniting our chalice. This spark of new beginnings invites us into a sacred space to reflect where we have been and where we are going.
Even knowing that this particular flame will intentionally end with our ritual extinguishing, we fear not its end.
For we know, with brave hearts, that from every ending of our lives, we are sent forth to make a new beginning.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But most of all, we need close friends we can call our very own. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a need to be together. We have our hearts to give. We have our thoughts to receive. And we believe that sharing is an answer. A child is born among us and we feel a special glow. We see time's endless journey as we watch the baby grow. We thrill to hear imagination freely running wild. We dedicate our minds and hearts to the spirit of this child. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a time to be together. And with the grace of age, we share the wonder of youth. And we believe that growing is an answer. Our lives are full of wonder and our time is very brief. The death of one among us fills us all with pain and grief. But as we live, so shall we die. And when our lives are done, the memories we shared with friends, they will linger on and on. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a place to be together. We have the right to grow. We have the gift to believe that peace within our living is an answer. We seek elusive answers to the questions of this life. We seek to put an end to all the waste of human strife. We search for truth, equality, and blessed peace of mind. And then we come together here to make sense of what we find. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a joy being together. And in our search for peace, maybe we'll finally see, even to question truly is an answer.
Wherever You Go by Pat Zietlow Miller. When it's time for a journey to learn and to grow, roads guide your footsteps wherever you go. Roads give you chances to seek and explore. Want an adventure? Just open your door. Roads go over a hill, under a bridge, deep in a valley, high on a ridge. If you yearn for the ocean or wish for a stream, roads bring you closer to reaching your dream. Roads zoom beneath city buildings that tower on high, twinkling like stars in the dark velvet sky. Racing past signs, reflecting their light, zigging and zagging, turn left, then turn right. Roads bend. Detours head where you wouldn't expect, showing you various ways to connect. Bringing you closer, then curving away. You always have choices, to go or to stay. Roads reach. Across flowing rivers, past harbors and bays, with breathtaking bridges designed to amaze. Attaching to places that once were apart, choose to cross over, follow your heart. Roads merge. Small distant roads sometimes travel alone, marking the miles out there on their own. Then a new road wants to join in on the fun, heads the same way, and the two become one. Roads grow. Well-traveled roads sometimes need extra space to guide life adventures to a new place. Which path should you choose? That's easy to see. The one that will take you where you wish to be. Roads wait for clicking, clacking trains and boats with tall sails, slow-going hay wagons carrying bales. Spotlights and crosswalks, a deer with a friend. Roads sometimes pause or just come to an end. Roads climb. Steep mountain peaks dusted lightly with snow, rising above the deep canyon below. Clinging to cliffs, chasing a cloud, reaching the top, tired but proud. Roads remember. Every life landmark, the big and the small, the moments you tripped, the times you stood tall. Where you are going and where you began, what you expected, what you didn't plan. Roads return. During your journey, you'll ramble and roam, but sooner or later, you'll think of your home. After you've seen all you've needed to see, a road takes you back where you're longing to be. Back to that hill, under that bridge, deep in your valley, high on your ridge. Roads take you all over the planet, but then you always can follow them home once again.
Each week at this time in the service, we share joys and sorrows submitted by members of the congregation. We share the things that we are celebrating as well as the things that we are mourning so that they do not need to be held alone. Joys and sorrows may be submitted online from our website, or you can contact me or a member of our staff or pastoral care team by email or phone. After each joy or sorrow that I read, please respond by saying, "We hold you in our hearts." A sorrow from Pam and Charlie Cook. Pam fell down from her bike on Memorial Day and injured her neck. She'll be wearing a brace for a while, but will not require surgery and is currently recovering at home with the help of physical therapy. To Pam and Charlie, we hold you in our hearts. A sorrow from Diane Rush. Diane fell down some stairs and injured her spine. She also will be wearing a brace for a while, but is not expecting to need surgery. Her daughter was with her this week, and her son is staying with her this weekend. To Diane, we hold you in our hearts. A joy from Beverly Hammer, daughter of Sunnyhill member Liz Bergman. Beverly says it was a joy to see the beautiful memorial garden with the rhododendron in full bloom. The area seemed like a peaceful enclave, and I saw my dad's plaque for the first time, Carl Bergman, who died 5 years ago. I also recognized many of the other names, many of whom I had met, including Barbara Jones, my mom's dear friend, and her quote, which is a favorite of mine: "Peace begins with me." To Beverly, Liz, and family, we hold you in our hearts. Please join me in the spirit of meditation or prayer. Each movement we make, forward, backward, sideways, might be the start of a journey that will take us places we have never imagined, anticipated, or desired. Each departure might lead toward ideas, insights, inspirations that would not have been possible or even conceivable had we remained mired in the smallness of our former lives. Each moment of disequilibrium, of falling and catching ourselves, might result in the first step towards something entirely new, something that has long remained obscured from our view. Let us take a moment of silence to consider the journeys of our lives, those that have brought us to this place and those that will lead us on. May our lives be blessed with the awareness of the journey we are on. May our journeying lead us to a place of peace, freedom, and understanding. And may we be ever grateful for our traveling companions on the road of life. Amen.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
In 1937, a woman named Ruth was preparing to bake her favorite recipe, butter drop dew cookies, which dated back to colonial times. According to Linda Stradley, these yummy sweets used baker's chocolate and were more like little cakes. One day, Ruth found herself without that all-important baker's chocolate and only had semi-sweet chocolate on hand, which she chopped up and stirred into the dough. She assumed that the chocolate would melt and spread throughout each cookie. Instead, the chocolate bits held their shape and created a sensation all its own. She called her new creation the Toll House Crunch Cookies, named after the restaurant that she ran up in Boston. Betty Crocker brought the new cookie to the masses when she used it in her radio series, Famous Foods from Famous Eating Places. Ruth went on to approach the Nestle company. They agreed to print what would become the Toll House cookie recipe on the wrapper of their semi-sweet chocolate bar. The company then developed a scored semi-sweet chocolate bar with a small cutting implement, so making the chunks would be even easier. According to the story, part of this agreement included supplying Ruth with all of the chocolate she could ever use to make her delicious cookies for the rest of her life. I like that agreement. Chocolate chip cookies that we all know and love made their way into the hearts and bellies of people all across the country from a mishap of not having all the right ingredients. Back in the fall, we started our church year lacking so many of the ingredients we needed to make religious education like we're used to. We didn't have our beloved space or get to see our friends in person. We didn't have a chance to make lots of crafts and play games with one another the way we have enjoyed for years. We missed the presence of one another in every age group. We missed our teachers and caregivers that we got to learn and grow with on so many Sunday mornings. It was hard. It wasn't the same. Both kids and families were zoomed out, and their DRE was too. And it was transformative. In our pre-K to 5th grade RE classes, we brought joy to one another every single Sunday morning. We laughed. We had scavenger hunts. We meditated. We listened. We opened our hearts. And we explored big topics like racism, intersectionality, and gender identity. Anne Marie and Miss Christie, and Max and Micah, and Maria, Ava, and Denali, and so many other friends logged in and gave our time together purpose and meaning, which also brought purpose and meaning when I was personally struggling. Remember a couple weeks ago when Rev Jim spoke about languishing? That was exactly how I felt through so much of the last year. But seeing the faces of these kiddos each week brought me so much joy and hope. They were absolutely the chocolate chips to my cookies. In our middle school class, we learned about world religions such as Islam and Judaism, Christianity, paganism, Hinduism, and Buddhism, as well as our own Unitarian Universalist faith. We visited other places of worship virtually and got to learn from youth participants in different faiths from around the world. McKenna, Evan, Casey, and Finn opened up to learning the problems and solutions of the different major world religions, and by doing so, dove deeper into their own beliefs and values. Our high school students spent the year focused on community building and really just having a place to hang out and be with one another and bring their whole, genuine selves. We played games, we answered silly questions, and we discussed some pretty deep topics. But most of all, we were present with one another. Ella, Tage, Owen, and Alex, and of course Mr. J. Pullen, brought laughs and light in a sometimes very dark year. This last year was a challenge in so many ways. There are times when it was downright exhausting. But as we bring it to a close, and I have an opportunity to reflect, it was a chocolate chip kind of year. We started without so many of the ingredients we wanted, but we added others, like Zoom and YouTube and Bitmojis, to add the joy back in. Religious education is not the building, or the curriculum, or the supply closet. It is the community we share and the conversations we have. What we created together was affirming and valuable and gave meaning and purpose when there were days where it was so hard to find. I'm so grateful to the chocolate chip cookies of a year we created together. In the coming months, I look forward to seeing all of the smiling faces of the children and their families in real life once again. I look forward to growing and creating and learning together. I believe that Unitarian Universalism is a life-affirming and soul-filling faith, and religious education for children and youth is our most important task. And so I look forward to being with you all to continue that work in person.
I originally read this poem as part of my COA service 4 years ago. I chose it because of its meaning and the way it resonated with me, and it continues to do so till this day. This is The Summer's Day by Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean. The one who has flung herself out of the grass. The one who is eating sugar out of my hand. Who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down. Who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Mary Oliver.
One of the great challenges and great joys of serving a congregation over a number of years is witnessing the passage of time and how it plays out in the lives of congregants and their families. Having been here at Sunnyhill for almost 7 years now, I've seen a lot of changes in the people here. In some cases, time can be cruel. Over the past 7 years, I've witnessed several aging members of the congregation slide slowly or rapidly into the fog of dementia. I've witnessed members struggle with all of the maladies related to aging. And I've witnessed death, both expected and unexpected, and have presided at memorial services for some 30 individuals in my time here so far. On the other end of the continuum, I've witnessed new life in the congregation and have officiated child dedication ceremonies also for some 30 individuals so far. And we have all witnessed infants becoming toddlers, becoming school children, becoming teenagers, becoming adults. Today's bridging seniors were rising 6th graders when I arrived here, and it's so strange to think of these children now being young adults going off to college and finding new paths for themselves. As Unitarian Universalists, I believe one of our core strengths is commemorating various life passages in meaningful ways. UU memorial services, for example, are not comprised merely of dry utterances of dusty liturgy, but are rather true celebrations of the totality of the lives of those who have died, both the beautiful and perhaps not so beautiful aspects of who they were and what made them authentically and unmistakably themselves. Likewise, our child dedication services, coming of age services, and high school youth bridging services are not about our idealized version of who we think our children and youth ought to be or what we think they should believe, but rather are about embracing them for who they are at the most authentic level of being, and encouraging them to find their own way. Ours is a covenantal religious tradition, which means that everything takes place in the context of community. Relationships are of primary importance in our tradition. Relationships among individuals and the relationship of all these individuals with the larger community, and the relationship between the community and that which is larger than itself alone. So when we celebrate any kind of life passage, we do so as a testament to the life-giving, life-affirming power of religious community, which holds us all in a love that will not let us go. From birth to death and beyond, we hold one another in the loving heart of this congregation, honoring each person's inherent worth and dignity and the spark of the divine that burns in every human soul. There's a story that involves two of our most famous Unitarian forebears, Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau. Emerson and Thoreau both wanted everyone to develop their own ideas and beliefs. They both wanted to spread kindness and joy and to make people feel better and think more. And they both believed that each person must be free in order for any of us to be truly free. One day, Emerson was planning a picnic with his young children. They invited other children of all ages and some adults too, who enjoyed having fun outdoors and liked being together. This was a huckleberrying party when everyone went hunting for huckleberries to make pies. This party was to be led by Thoreau because he knew where all the best berry patches were. The day of the picnic was sunny. Everyone was finding lots of berries. Suddenly, Edward Emerson, who was about 4 years old, tripped and fell. He was carrying a big basket of berries. They went all over the place and got dirty and squished, and Edward started to cry. People tried to give him some of their berries to comfort him, but he still cried. Finally, Thoreau came over to see why Edward was crying. He put his arm around him. "Edward," Thoreau said, "if huckleberries are to continue to grow, some have to be scattered to start new plants." Thoreau said he thought that nature needed to have little children sometimes stumble and scatter the berries. Thoreau said, "There will be a lot of berries here someday, and we shall owe them all to you." And with that, Edward began to smile again. Each of us stumbles and spills things, both at the beginning and end of our lives and all along the way. But when we are part of a larger community of loving souls, we are able to remind one another that these stumbles and spills are often the starting point for something new and previously unimagined. When we stumble and scatter things in community with one another, no matter where we are in our life cycle, we are sometimes planting seeds that may someday lead to new growth and new possibilities. And so, I say to our bridging youth as well as to each and every one of you, when you stumble, you may cry for a time, and that's as it should be. Stumbling is sometimes painful. But remember that however much you may stumble, you are held in the heart of a loving community that loves and celebrates you for being exactly who you are, stumbles and all. And each time you stumble and share the experience with someone else, especially someone who cares about you deeply, you may be scattering and planting the seeds of deep connection and deep growth. With the passage of time, I hope and pray that each of us will grow not just older, but occasionally wiser and better able to answer that question from the beautiful Mary Oliver poem that Stella read a few minutes ago. What is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? May it be so. Amen.
The bridging ceremony is a time when we celebrate our youth group seniors as they make the transition from youth to young adulthood. Our bridging seniors this year are Anushka Marcos, Trey Reichenfeld, and Stella Thornton. We welcome you, but also your families, to our virtual bridging ceremony. While we are honoring the youth here today, you have all helped to shape these young folks before us into wonderful individuals. Anushka is a vibrant and strong young woman. She spent her time at Seton LaSalle High School involved in a lifetime's worth of activities. She was president of the National Honor Society, captain of the cheerleading team, member of the speech and debate teams, played tennis, participated in musicals, and so much more. In the fall, she will be headed to Case Western Reserve University to study nursing. Stella has been a musician since probably before she can remember. She has shared her gifts with Sunnyhill countless times, but throughout high school also shared her talents as a violinist in the Young People's Orchestra and member of the Montour High School Marching Band, where she was also a member of their cross-country running team. Throughout both middle and high school, Stella was active in regional Unitarian Universalist youth activities and served as a leader in various ways. She has loved making what are sure to be lifelong UU friends. Trey is another one of our talented youth musicians at Sunnyhill. Throughout the last several years, he has spent his time in the Mount Lebanon High School concert choir, chamber choir, and men's ensemble, and appeared in 3 musicals. He is quite involved with the high school orchestra. He is the principal violin, as well as serves as student vice president. He was featured as a soloist during the spring concert. Trey will be attending Robert Morris University to study actuarial science. I don't even know what that means. After receiving a full tuition presidential scholarship, Trey received 2 Mount Lebanon High School scholarships, the Matthew Conover Award for Athletics and Music, and Timothy Kenny Math Award. These 3 youth are wonderful humans. They are each kind, giving, caring, and talented. It has been an honor to watch them grow, and I cannot wait to see what they do next. But I know they will continue to keep this community close at heart. We invite all of you watching to participate in this virtual bridging ceremony. I hope you will join us for this important ritual, marking this time of transition for these fabulous young people.
We start with the actual bridging ceremony. I'd also like to acknowledge the efforts of our bridging seniors' parents. Our religious education program is set up in such a way that parents have a critically important role to play in the education of their own children. We emphasize this fact in our OWL classes and in our other RE classes. One of our goals is to help parents become primary religious educators for their children. All of the parents who are with us for this ceremony have put in a lot of hours and a lot of effort in helping with the education of their children, for which we and everyone in the congregation are extremely grateful. When we welcome young people as infants or children into our community, we often do so by giving them roses, tightly closed buds on stems from which the thorns have been removed. The buds are symbols of life just beginning, whose unfolding we will experience petal by petal, just as they will. The thornless stems are vivid images of our intent to protect the children of our church family from all that could be hurtful, to make their path smooth as their lives unfold. The youth before us here today, Anushka, Stella, and Trey, are at the other edge of childhood, the edge between childhood and adulthood. And it is fitting once more to use those symbols, those images from the past, to speak to them and to ourselves of what is to come. Again, we will be giving each of them a rose, not the tight bud of babyhood now, but a larger, more mature rose, closer to opening into a full and glorious flower. The stem this time is not so carefully stripped of thorns. We can no longer hold away the hurts and dangers of adulthood any more than we can keep this rose from opening. Though adult life is occasionally sharply painful as well as rich in color and texture, we urge our young adults to engage it fully. And while we are not able to protect them, we try to give them the tools to protect themselves, values by which to measure lives of worth, decision-making skills, and the knowledge of how to think instead of what we think. A heritage of the right of conscience and the need to act on what the conscience demands, and a religious community in which to test and refine the possible directions of their lives.
In our religious tradition, it's not just ministers and religious professionals who have the power to bless. Each of us have the power to bless another and to bless the world. Therefore, I invite everyone here to participate in this blessing. The words are ordinary words, but we make the blessing real through our shared intention. So at this time, I'm going to invite our families that are on the screen, but also everyone at home watching, to raise your hand. Anushka, Trey, and Stella, as you step forward into your next chapter, we send with you our fondest hopes and blessings.
May life bring enough challenge to fuel your dreams, enough affirmation to honor your gifts, and enough love and nurture to give your spirit peace.
Believe in your vision. Follow your dreams.
And know always that when you return to us, here you will find the hands of friends. Amen. And so we now can say goodbye to the child with confidence as well as some lingering wistfulness, and eagerly greet today's Bridgers, Anushka Marcos, Trey Reichenfeld, and Stella Thornton as young adults.
Congratulations.
It's now time for our offering. If you'd like to make a gift via our online giving system, you can do so one of two ways. You can go to sunnyhill.org and click on the button that says Online Giving, and then follow the instructions. Once you get to the drop-down menu, just choose either 2021 Pledge Collections if you're making a payment on your pledge, or non-pledge collections for other gifts.
Or you can give by text at 412-324-3130. Just dial that number using your smartphone and follow the instructions. You may also mail a check if you prefer, and you can find our mailing address on our website, sunnyhill.org. Thank you for your generosity.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the light of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me,
Please join us in saying the words as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame,
but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment.
These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Our closing words, "Cherish your doubts," were written by Michael A. Schuler. Cherish your doubts, for doubt is the servant of truth. Question your convictions, for beliefs too tightly held strangle the mind and its natural wisdom. Suspect all certitudes, for the world whirls on, nothing abides. Yet, in our inner rooms full of doubt, inquiry, and suspicion, let a corner be reserved for trust. For without trust, there is no space for communities to gather or for friendships to be forged. Indeed, this is the small corner where we connect and reconnect with each other. Go in peace.